stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there anyone for public comment on the agenda items only this evening?
I just have a question. Is there public comment for non-agenda items?
That would be at the end of the meeting?
Oh.
Yes. Okay? That's okay. Okay. So the first thing on the agenda this evening is under presentations. It is recognition of Karen Tina for her years of service on Borough Council, and Tina Sokolowski is going up.
All right, here we go. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for gathering here tonight as we bid a heartfelt farewell to two of our esteemed colleagues. I feel an immense sense of gratitude and pride for the time we've spent working alongside each other. We spent the last 8 years together, building relationships, working towards the goal of enhancing Conshohocken's vision of becoming the best place to live, work, play, and grow. The professionalism, expertise, and unwavering commitment to public service have been an inspiration to all of us. Today's bittersweet. It's a moment as we say goodbye to Karen Titino and Colleen Leonard, who have been integral participants in our Borough Council for many years. As I stand here, I'm flooded with memories of times we've shared, the laughter we've enjoyed, and the countless adventures that we have woven into the fabric of our friendships. It's never easy to see someone you care about move on. However, it's essential to celebrate the opportunities that lie ahead and the exciting path that awaits you both. All right, where do I begin? Karen. From the moment we crossed paths, I recognized that you are a dedicated council member. You started your journey back in 2014 as an appointed member to council, and in the subsequent 10 years of being elected, you've served Conshohocken, and there are many accomplishments for you to be proud of in that tenure. From quality of life, public safety, emergency management enhancements, to recreation, parks, playgrounds, special events, you were there to assist and support the process and the outcomes. Not just you, but your fur babies, Emma, may she rest in peace, and Mookie. As I was thinking back on all the activities and events, and even a meeting or two, there was always a memory that included your Goldens. Whether it was participating in EAC cleanup, St. Patrick's Day parades, pictures with Santa, lighting of the menorah, or you just walking the borough with them, checking in on your constituents, you're known as the friendly council person with the beautiful Goldens. Not only did you always cart the dog to activities, but you're always roping your son into learning and participating in community events, even when it wasn't a cool thing for a 9 or 10-year-old to do. You were able to use your time on council to teach the importance of civic engagement and giving back to the community. Your son has grown up to be a thoughtful young man, and I know the lessons instilled will serve him well in his future. I remember back one day thinking, there are not many 11-year-olds that can actually have a full discussion on public policy, but there you were going into detail, and he was engaged in the discussion. You spent 2 years as vice president on council and sat on numerous boards and committees. You balanced being a mom, having a full-time job, and serving your community, and you did this because of your love of people and giving back. I asked Steph to give me a list of accomplishments that I could create something to talk about tonight. Well, if I used that list, we'd be here for a very long meeting tonight. Honestly, there were about 35 items on that list. This list alone is a testament of the great work you were part of for over your 10 years as a community leader. Ward 1 has gone through a lot of change, growth, development over the time that you've served on council. That didn't come without its own challenges. You spent countless hours in meetings with residents, homeowners associations, and businesses to ensure that the impact of all that development remained at the forefront and reduced impact to the residents was minimal, or as much as possible. You go above and beyond to ensure Ward 1 residents have a voice and to ensure that the borough operations run smoothly, as well as staff are treated respectfully and as valued partners. I couldn't stand up here and leave out your sense of humor. Oftentimes, I just shake my head and say, she can't really be saying that with a straight face. You use humor and sarcasm to lighten discussions or just try to make people laugh. Some get it, some don't. Sometimes the things that you say are way out there. That's when we just shake our heads. But you being you, you're always able to laugh at yourself and own when you're stirring the pot with sarcasm. I have to tell you, it was always fun watching you do that with Ike and Bob. I'm filled with a mixture of emotions, joy for the adventures that await you in your new chapter of life, and sadness at the thought of not spending 2 nights a month plus events with you. As you spread your wings and soar to new heights, know that you take with you the love and best wishes of everyone gathered here tonight. You have served your community well. You should be very proud of what you were part of building here. On behalf of Borough Council, I want to express our sincere gratitude for your hard work, dedication, and service to our community. You will be missed. With that, I'd like to invite your family and friends to join me in presenting you a plaque for your service at the Borough. Come on up, everybody. We got plaques, we got pictures, we got flowers. Karen, for outstanding service and dedication to the Borough of Conshohocken as elected Borough Council member from 2014 to 2023, I give this to you with much respect and love. Congratulations. Oh, yeah. Pictures.
We gotta hold the thing here.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got to take your pictures.
Just in the middle, and then everyone will just kind of gather around you.
What I do with my tissues.
Hey, this one.
We got one more for you, Karen.
Do you want to get in the picture too?
This is Greg Scott.
Yes. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Do you need any? You good? I'm good. Okay. Yeah, whatever you want right now. That's fine.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, ready?
I'm actually going to say just a couple of things. A lot less because I never have to be told to talk loud. So, thank you, everyone. Okay. Thank you, everyone. While I appreciate this recognition, it really doesn't feel necessary. It's been an honor to serve for Borough Council for the last 10 years. I'm keeping it together here. I truly value having had this opportunity to be a part of influencing decisions that were made for this community. I absolutely love this town. Nick, I'll say, the people from Old Conchi and the people from New Conchi. There's a line at some point when you can call yourself from Conchi and then when you're Conchi. All of the residents, all of the people here, whether it's the old or the new, have really helped to shape what Conshohocken is. And it's warm, it's old school, yet it's modern. It's, after all this time, it's a place on the map. Conshohocken is now on the map. We live in a town where we have Sencora, a Fortune 10 global headquarters, and a soapbox derby, and everything in between. And we constantly have people approaching us to hold different events here. And it's because Conshohocken is a place to be. These are a whole group of my friends that all lived here and made the mistake of moving out. They all needed like property or something. So this role does require a great deal of work. I do have to add that while it's a lot of work, there is so much that happens in this building that's unbelievable, because before any decision ever has to get made, everybody here is playing some kind of a role in it. We have just every department is phenomenal, and Steph runs it like a well-oiled machine. It's really pretty incredible place. That said, I did start a new job at a new company, and it requires a great deal of time. There's travel involved. In fact, I did miss a budget meeting, which really isn't okay. And I mention that because while it's really, really difficult for me to leave this, I'm holding it together now, but it's really difficult. It's the right thing to do. It's only fair because there's a commitment that needs to be made that I've made, but I can't at this time moving forward. So while I wanted to pursue yet another term, like I said, it's just not fair. But I'm not going anywhere. Still live in the 1 square mile. Everyone will see me out with my Goldens, and I will be engaged in some way. And I guess lastly, I would like to say welcome to our new council people, to Alan and Ralph. Welcome to being a part, and I'm happy to pass on what's been just a wonderful opportunity for me. Thank you all. Steph, is it okay to tell him? Okay, you guys, let's go start the party.
Okay, that one was hard. This one's going to be a little bit harder for me. Colleen, my partner in crime. Over the years, Colleen has made countless contributions to our Borough Council. As a council member for 8 years and council president for the last 6 years, Colleen's played a vital role in the implementation of numerous policies and programs that have had positive impact on our community. It's hard to believe 9 years ago we met in the old Leland Mansion, sitting in the council meeting audience. I think we were the only two there for a long time.
Yes.
We were there to understand the decisions and plans that were being made for our community, trying to understand how council process worked, and building a bond that has served us well as leaders, as the leadership team we are today. We were elected by our community in 2016, and we're part of the first majority woman council, a 5-2 council. I can say we started our tenure shaking things up from how the things used to be.
We did.
Our first business decision was selecting a new council president. How bold were we when we decided to put individuals who were already sitting on council through an interview process to choose our best fit for our first council president? Next up was understanding the budget that was developed by a prior borough manager. Jane, you and I spent countless hours at the 401 diner scouring line by line to reconcile numbers and make sense of figures that had no detail behind them.
Yes, we did.
Our first clue that there needed to be an evaluation of our various departments to understand operation, process, and procedures on everything related to how borough conducts business. Because of that, we orchestrated a change in borough manager. We identified that it was a bad fit for our community.
A little bit.
We sent away union workers and developers who were not addressing and providing what our community wanted in their development. And we standardized business practice in the selection of our service providers and legal representation. All in that first
Yes, we did.
few months. We systematically evaluated each division of operations to ensure process, policy, and procedure were in place, and that the departments understood their fiscal responsibility to our constituents. This wasn't always well received, but we knew it was necessary and it was our responsibility. As a community leader, you were a driving force to ensure that all 6 of our parks were upgraded and used to their fullest potential. At one of our first meetings we were at, there was a resident that came to us to inform us about the dangers in our existing park equipment. Right away, you took that ball and you ran with a plan. The plan was to enhance our parks and rec services across the board. We upgraded equipment. We added walking tracks on the east side of Conshohocken. We fought to keep the community center private, added pocket parks, created a not-for-profit to fundraise, and you were part of negotiating a $1.9 million from developers in park fee and rec fees. We did most of this under your leadership as the president of council. You also were responsible for identifying the need to preserve historical buildings and encourage the preservation of single-family homes in Conshohocken. You did this through a creation of a historical overlay ordinance. That was your ordinance. I could go on and on with the accomplishments and improvements that have been put into Conshohocken. There is one call out in particular that through your leadership and relationships with our local, county, and state representatives, Conshohocken's been fortunate to have been awarded in a short 8-year period a total of $13,770,000 to put back into enhancing our community.
Wow.
Your tenure as a community leader has its own statistics. 2016 to 2023. There were a total of 203 structured council meetings, and in that time, you had only 3 absences. You did this in spite of a pandemic and technology challenges a personal health experience, and you strategically scheduled summer and winter vacations so that you were able to show up for your constituents. You were our spokesperson at events and celebrations. You always remembered to share thanks and support with all of our staff. Parades, events, committee meetings, Colleen, you always showed up. The community could always count on you. Just think now back the hours of your week once spent reading hundreds of pages of documents in preparation for the upcoming work sessions and meetings. You get that time back.
My family.
From a personal perspective, you kept me on track with my schedules, and you reminded me when it was time for my own self-care activities. Your years of living and raising your family in the borough have provided you invaluable insight and foresight in the strategic planning and implementation of programs and projects needed to enhance our borough. Everybody knows Mrs. Leonard. You've been an active participant in your community, from being a student, to a parent, to a coach, to a civic leader, to a mentor, and to a friend. While writing this, I looked up the definition of civic leadership. Civic leadership is working to make a difference in the civic life of our communities and developing the combination of knowledge, skills, values, and motivation to make that difference. Simply put, it means promoting the quality of life in a community. You were born to be a civic leader. Colleen, you've been more than just a friend. You've been a source of inspiration, joy, and unwavering support. The late-night conversations, the adventures, and the quiet moments of understanding. These are the threads that have woven the fabric of our friendship. I have no doubt that you will leave an indelible mark on everyone fortunate enough to have crossed your path. We laughed together, cried together, and shared countless memories that will be forever etched in our lives. You've been a source of inspiration, a pillar of strength, and a friend who has illuminated the darkest corners with warmth and kindness. Your presence has enriched my life, and your absence will undoubtedly leave a void. Remember that you carry with you love, laughter, and lessons we've shared over the past 9+ years. Cherish the memories that we've created, and let them serve as a reminder of the friendships and bonds we all have created. Tap, tap. In closing, I want to say, Colleen, your contributions have not gone unnoticed, and we are truly grateful for your service. As you embark on the next chapter of your life, retirement, travel, relaxation, I'll ask everyone to please join me in wishing you the best. On behalf of Borough Council, I want to express our sincere gratitude for your hard work, dedication, and service to our community. You will be missed, but we know that your legacy will live on for years to come. With that, I'd like to invite your family and friends to join me in presenting you a plaque for your service to the borough. All right, for an outstanding service and dedication to the Borough of Conshohocken as an elected member of council from 2016 to 2023, on behalf of council, we thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Good job, Colin.
Thank you.
Time for the photo.
There he is. Photo time.
Had a hard time for it.
Here's your flowers, sweetie.
Oh, thank you. I'm gonna go to pictures and then.
He's got his ring on.
Ready, everyone? 1, 2, 3.
Stephanie told me to wait.
1 second.
Okay, oh.
Gotta love the hair. Go ahead.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Good job. Stand up, buddy.
Wait. Oh, yep. There we go.
Nobody can say their signature will be seen in 100 years.
Okay, so I think everybody works for Stephanie and Colleen, right? Colleen says, hey, you do this, you do it. But anyhow, I'm Greg Scott, the state rep for Norristown, Plymouth Township, and the beautiful Borough of Conshohocken. And when I was running, I've only been your state rep for a year. When I was running, it was a grueling process, and everybody knows the elections process here. I don't need to school you on that. One of the first people that I connected with during that journey was Colleen Leonard. Colleen was very clear. What do you know about Cunchy? What are you going to do for Cunchy? You're going to be a freshman. How are you going to bring home the bacon? How are you going to make sure that Conshohocken is a part of the plan and the conversation, every conversation you have when it comes to appropriations, when it comes to anything that can benefit her community? The math is such that my district, Conshohocken, the population of Conshohocken is the smallest portion of my district. Although I would tell you, it is certainly not the smallest amount of time that I spend. And that is principally because there's this woman who calls my cell phone named Colleen Leonard consistently about everything. And Colleen, you've been a great governing partner.
Thank you.
You've been a great champion for the Borough of Conshohocken. There's not an issue that has taken place over the last 12 months where you have not spoken up to me and held me accountable on behalf of your constituents for what I'm doing in Harrisburg. It's because of you we've been able to bring home grants that we just got for the sewer.
Can you announce that? Because that is just amazing.
Yes, you're putting me on the spot and I don't have a script, but
I can help.
Tina will help.
$1,450,000. And thank you, Colleen Leonard, for beating Greg Scott up. It's the most grant award. When you talk about the population, right? Conshohocken is the least populous part of my district, but they've got the largest grant amount. And it's a testament to literally the relationship that I have with Colleen and Stephanie every single day. Our offices are communicating, and Colleen is making sure that she's a part of all those conversations. Everything from the SEPTA garage to, and I think a lot of people, want to move to Conshohocken, and we all know what the price of buying a home in Conshohocken is. But they want to move to Conshohocken because it's walkable. It's a great place to raise their family. We've got great parks, beautiful parks in Conshohocken. We've got the fellowship house. We've got a recreation department. We would have had no recreation department had it not been for Colleen advocating for that. The fellowship house could have gone away had it not been for Colleen Leonard advocating for that. So you've certainly left an indelible mark on this community and certainly on me. And I appreciate so much you holding me accountable for these last 12 months.
And I would apologize for that, but I'm not.
You don't have to apologize. You don't have to apologize at all. But sincerely, it has been great getting to know you and working with you, working for you.
Thank you.
Working for you. I take pleasure. All of my staff knows that when you call, we answer and we get back to you. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for taking a risk on me, and thank you for being a champion for your community. And with that, we want to present you with a citation. I'm not going to read the citation. It basically says everything that Tina said, plus some, but it's signed by Joanna McClinton, the Speaker of the House. And we want to make sure, the first woman Speaker of the House, to lead that chamber, and we want to make sure that we presented that to you as one of the leaders of the Borough of Conshohocken.
Thank you so much, Greg.
Well done.
Thank you, Greg. Need this. Do I have to do a picture again? I'm good, right? Okay. No, we didn't. Okay, let's do that.
Again, she's calling the shots. Yeah? She's calling the shots.
Because we know I love pictures.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, Madam President Leonard.
So I'm going to take up a little bit of time for everybody. There are some people, yeah, maybe. No, you need to be my side there. There are some people I would like to thank. And Tina got me all choked up, so I'm going to get rid of that. The first person I would like to thank is my husband for being by my side. And putting up with everything these last 8 years. Vacations got changed, events we couldn't do because I had things to do. My children, my grandchildren, my grandsons, for understanding. Okay, when I did miss events, I missed sporting events, I missed school events. And they all understood. Take a break. But for my grandsons, I truly hope that I did, and I know I did, leave an impression. Okay, I got it. When we first, to my grandsons, that they do recognize. Oh, Stephanie, it's okay. They're good tears, buddy. The importance of service, and I think I did show them that. Aw. Okay, now I really have to calm down. Years ago, when we first did on a funny note, redid the Marywood Park House, and my grandson is going to kill me for this, but I know that I left an impression on him, and I know that they pay attention even when they're small. We were at the Marywood Park and it had just been done. And the boys were playing there, and I heard my grandson say, it was so funny, he was talking to the other kids, and he said, "This is my grandma's park." And I went, oh my God. And then it got better, and he said, "My grandma, she's the president of Conshohocken." And I was like, oh my God. And there were people around, but he noticed, he paid attention. He was 6, but he knew. So your children and your grandchildren, they do pay attention, and they do know, and you do make a mark on them. And I am proud that I did. I'm going to go back a little bit, and I'm also going to thank my parents, and my family will understand this when I say it. My mother had a very, very teeny tiny little blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl in the 50s, and she knew that she had to raise me strong, and she did. She raised me strong, and she raised me fearless, without my father ever even noticing. God bless her. She always told me there was nothing I couldn't do. And just to do it, whether it was a physical thing or whether it was something else, she said, honey, you always can do anything you put your mind to. And you do that. And I believed her. And she was right. And I thank her for that. And she did have instinct on that. She left me when I was only 24, but she left me strong. And my father, who thought his only job was to overprotect me, as I got older and we worked together, my father took me under his wing and he taught me business. And he taught me business well. And it has served me well here. He also taught me something else that was probably the most important thing he ever taught me, and that was to be nice and kind to everyone. You are not better than anyone, and no one is better than you. And when you have nice words for people, it comes back to you 1,000-fold. And it is the truth. And I hope my grandsons remember that too. I know my children know it. That's enough of that. So, council, I would like to thank all the council members that have worked along my side, past and present, for the last 8 years. I thank you for appointing me as president for the last 6. It has been a true honor for me. You know, being president, it isn't just a title, it's a job. It doesn't go to who's the prettiest or who's the most popular or even who's the most educated. It goes to the person who can lead. And I am proud of leading this council for the last 8 years. We have done amazing work in the last 8 years, and we have made the borough something to be very, very proud of. I'd also like to thank Mayor Aronson. I would not forget you. Stephanie Checco, who, there are no words. Ray Sokolowski, Mike Peters, for your advice and guidance these last 8 years has been, it's been immeasurable what you've done for the borough. All of our administration, all of our borough employees, their dedication to this borough and their pride in this borough is amazing. 8 years ago, when we came on council, that pride wasn't there. We very quietly, while we were doing all of our negotiations with all of the developers, and yes, I did send them away twice, but it was worth it. But we very quietly, we changed the administration. We changed how the employees work. We got them the tools that they needed because, and Tina knows, and Stephanie knows, when we came on council, it was not a good place to work. And Stephanie changed that environment. All the employees, it is a happy place to work now, and our employees are proud. And they do an amazing job, all of them, from the administration to license and inspection, all of our borough employees. They just have such pride, and that's what you need to have a great community, and we do. We also did other things other than getting the employees the tools that they needed while we were doing all the negotiations. We did a new employee handbook, which sounds easy. It's not. Angela, thank you. There's so much work involved in doing that. And we got it done. One of the most important things we did for our employees is the family leave benefit. It is instrumental for our employees to have that, and they deserve it and should have it. And all of this was really done under the leadership of Stephanie Checco. Her professionalism and her caring for the borough, I have no words for. She's just wonderful. And there are some of the accomplishments that I am very proud of that no one sees. There are other things, like our second term, 2 months after we were sworn in, we had COVID come. And it changed everything. It changed all of our plans. Anything that we had on the radar to do stopped. We had to stop. We had to figure out a way to keep everybody safe. And our administration had a plan in place. No other municipality did, but ours did. And I thank you for that. Ray, thank you. It was just amazing. So our gears shifted. We had to keep our employees safe, and that included emergency services, the police department, the fire departments, the borough crew, and our small businesses, how to help them. Everything shifted. But we got it done, and we got through it. And that was just the first year. The second year, we thought we were going to be out of COVID, but no, it came back. And when it came back, so did breast cancer. And I thank everyone in the borough that knew and supported me, and the council members and Mayor Aronson and my family that helped me get through that during such a terrible time anyway. Angela Metz, your love and support from all of you, I can't thank you enough for that. So then, we got through all of that. We got through COVID again. We got through me. And you thought you'd get a break, right? No, we got Hurricane Ida. And again, we shifted. And this time, after Hurricane Ida, we shifted to emergency services and realized what we needed. And the borough and the administration, they went in full gear. And we now have a state-of-the-art emergency services center, which I am proud of, and proud of everyone. Chief Lennon, who had a part in it, Sergeant Connor, Tim Gunning, Bill Weber from Narberth Ambulances. It is something that, God forbid, if the borough needs it, our borough is prepared, and I am very proud of that. And I'm going to stop with all the borough things now because you all know how proud and grateful I am of all of you. But there are other people I would like to thank, and Representative Scott touched on that a little bit. But this needs to be said, and I'm going to do it. I'd like to thank Sarah Aronson, who is our Democratic area leader, our Conshohocken leader, Jen Dow, our area leader, Jason Salas, our county leader and treasurer, who is an amazing leader and does a great job for the Democrats. Ken Lawrence, our county commissioner, Val Arkush, Jamila Winder. Poor Ken Lawrence, he got it as much as Representative Scott did. Every time I would pick up that phone, and he answered as I ran it. And he listened and he helped. Greg Scott, I'm going to thank you again. Our former Representative Mary Jo Daley. Senator Vincent Hughes, who, God bless Senator Hughes, took all of my calls and took all of my rants and all of my concerns, and he listened and he helped our community. I truly appreciate that. Sean Kilkenny, our U.S. Representative Madeline Dean, who is still to this day trying to get aid for down at the bridge to get that traffic straightened out down there. And a special thank you to our former Governor Wolf, because without him we would not have got, and I'm going to call him Bergen, but when we were trying to get them here, we did have a plan. We knew what we needed to do to get them here, but it wasn't enough, and we knew it wasn't enough. And I said to Stephanie one day, well, what's the state doing? And we both were like, I don't know. So crazy me, where's Craig Scott? Yes, I did. I most certainly did. I picked up the phone and I called Governor Wolf. And God bless Governor Wolf. He said, Colleen, tell me your plan, and I did. And he said, okay, I am going to put you and our administrations together, and we are going to get a plan and we are going to get Amerisourceburg into Conshohocken. So thank you, former Governor Wolf, for all of your great work. It was sincerely appreciated by us, and it is amazing for us to have that Fortune 10 company in our borough. You know, it needs to be said, we are all Democrats, all of us sitting up here. We all ran as Democrats. We were all elected as Democrats. And we should be proud of what we do, and we should be grateful for the Democratic Party that surrounds us and supports us, because without them, we wouldn't be where we are. There is no stigma to being a Democrat. And people who say that there is and that we shouldn't be proud of it, shame on them. We are not run by the Democratic Party. We are the Democratic Party, all of us, and we should be proud of it. So, once again, we need to do better on that. We really do. We need to stop the lies and stop the innuendos. How dare anyone say we are run by the Democratic Party? What a false statement. We are not run by the Democratic Party. We are the Democratic Party, and the Democratic Party supports us. And I appreciate it, and we would never be where we are without them. So, once again, I am going to say thank you to everyone for all your help and these years and everything we did. It has been a joy for me. I truly do love Conshohocken with all my heart. And last but not least, I'm going to thank my residents for supporting me and electing me these last 8 years, because it really truly has been an honor. Thank you. And thank you, Chris Finero, for being here tonight. I appreciate it. We're good now, Les Jess. Oh, thank you. Now we have a meeting to do.
Nope, I got one more thing.
Oh, okay.
All right, so I had the honor of writing speeches for my friends. Goodbye. As I was writing the speech, I did a lot of reflection and thinking about things, and I wrote something that I'm calling Lasting Impression, and I'd like to read it to everyone. When you come to the end of your journey and are winding down your time, always remember fondly all the good deeds you've left behind. Forget unkind words that were spoken. Remember all the good things you have done. Forget all the difficult decisions, knowing it brought heartache to some. Forget that you may have stumbled and blundered and sometimes fall on your face. Remember how you worked tirelessly through both discomfort and commonplace. All this was accomplished with a promise to ensure the safety, security, and fellowship in your small but mighty wards. Leadership's not an easy task. It's never about you. Compassion, encouragement, and inspiration are just things that you do. Be strong, not rude. Be kind, not weak. Be thoughtful and be true. For these core values made the leader your community received from you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your time. Thanks to all your family who endured and helped you shine. Your journey may be over now, but never to forget the friends you've made, the community framework you designed, and of course, the legacy you will leave behind.
Thank you, Tina.
Thank you.
Okay. Not yet. The next item on the agenda is under land use public hearings and ordinances. The first one is consider authorizing advertisement of a revision to the shade tree regulation ordinance, and I will turn that over to Mr. Peters.
Thank you, President Leonard. Probably the most boring ordinance you've considered, particularly following all of that. But
This is an ordinance we discussed at your last meeting. It amends the shade tree regulations just to reflect the fact that the borough's code officials enforce that section of the borough's code of regulations. And I'll note for council that in going back through and preparing the advertisement, we found a few other references to the municipal arborists. So when we advertise this, we're gonna catch those as well. So it is ready for advertisement this evening.
It's me.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I was watching the family leave. Motion, so this evening, the motion is to authorize advertisement of a revision to the shade tree regulation ordinance.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next item is the consent agenda. The first, I'm going to go through them and then ask for the motions. The first is approve and adopt the November 1st and November 15th regular meeting minutes and the November 1st special meeting minutes. 2 is to approve the November ending treasurer's report and accounts payable. 3 is approve and adopt fiscal year 2024 budget. 4 is approve resolution 2023-27 to levy real estate tax for 2024 and fix the rate thereof. So this evening, if council is so inclined, the first motion to approve and adopt the November 1st and November 5th regular meeting minutes and the November 1st special meeting minutes.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. The next item is, if council is so inclined, is to approve the November ending treasurer's report and accounts payable in the amount of $1,346,447.06.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. The next item for council to consider for motion is to approve and adopt the 2024 fiscal year budget.
I'll make that motion. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. The last item is to approve Resolution 2023-27 to levy real estate tax for 2024 and the fixed rate thereof.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. The next items are under new business. The first item is consider approving 305 East 12th Avenue demolition escrow release number 1, the final, in the amount of $4,005.65 plus interest. So if council is inclined, the motion is approve 305 East 12th Avenue demolition escrow release number 1, final, in the amount of $4,005.65 plus interest.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. The next item is to consider approving the third addendum to the AFSCME collective bargaining agreement. So if council is inclined this evening to approve the third amendment to the AFSCME collective bargaining agreement.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. The next item is consider appointing Brian Magrum to the Friends of Conshohocken Park. So if council is inclined this evening, it is to appoint Brian Magrum to the Friends of Conshohocken Parks.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. The next item for council is to consider approving the 2022 CDBG curb ramp project payment certification in the amount of $56,112.66.
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Before we finalize that motion, there's
I'll-
a second portion of it.
I will read the whole thing, yes. The motion for council to consider is the 2022 CDBG curb ramp project payment certification in the amount of $56,112.66 and change order number 1 for additional paving, curbing, and sidewalk replacement required to tie into the new ADA ramps.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. The next item to consider is approving the tuition reimbursement for Detective Walter for the 2024 spring semester. So if council is inclined this evening, it is to approve a tuition reimbursement for Detective Walter for the 2024 spring semester in the amount of $3,465.16 plus the cost of required books.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. The next item for consideration is approving 331 West 7th Avenue zoning escrow release in the amount of $295.76 plus interest. So if council is inclined this evening, the motion is to approve 331 West 7th Avenue zoning escrow release in the amount of $295.76 plus interest.
I'll make that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. The next item for council to consider is approving 624 Maple Street zoning escrow release in the amount of $513 plus interest. So if council is inclined, the motion is approving 624 Maple Street zoning escrow agreement in the amount of $513 plus interest.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Oh, please. The next item is under...
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed. Motion carries. Some things never change. Under unfinished business, the next item is consider approving the second addendum to the Animal Control Officer Agreement with Daywalt Animal Control. So if council is inclined this evening, the motion is to approve the second addendum to the Animal Control Officer Agreement with Daywalt Animal Control.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. The next item is consider approving and authorizing advertisement of the 2024 meeting schedules for Borough Council and Borough Boards and Commissions. So if council is inclined this evening, the motion is approving and authorizing advertisement of the 2024 meeting schedule for Borough Council and Boards and Commissions.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. The next item for council to approve this evening is Resolution 2023-28, authorizing a supplemental appropriation in the amount of $5 million from the borough's general fund to the borough's capital fund. So if council is inclined this evening, the motion is approving Resolution 2023-28, authorizing a supplemental appropriation in the amount of $5 million from the borough general fund to the borough's capital fund.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. The last item is consider authorizing the renewal of a contract agreement with Howe Associates to collect residential and commercial recycling data for years 2023, 2024, and 2025.
I'll make that motion.
Not yet. So if council is... Oh, gosh, okay. So the last motion for this evening, if council is inclined, is to authorize the renewal of a contract agreement with Howe Associates to collect residential and commercial recycling data for years 2023, 2024, and 2025.
I'll make that motion. It's the last one.
I'll second it.
Thank God. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Madam President, before you go to public comment, would you like to take roll call for this evening?
Maybe. Ms. Checo, can you do roll call?
Yes. Councilmember Catino. Councilmember Cerna.
Here.
Councilmember Kingsley. Councilmember Barton.
Here.
Councilmember Elam.
Here.
Vice President Sokolowski.
Here.
President Leonard.
Here.
Mayor Aronson.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. So do we have any public comment from any of the audience this evening? Could you come up to the podium? Thank you.
Hi, my name is Chris Bertino. I live on West Sixth Avenue. Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you very much.
I was surprised that this was all going on tonight, so I had read the agenda, but really didn't understand what the recognition was about. So it was nice to hear the service that you've given to the community, and I want to thank you personally.
Thank you.
My comments tonight are regarding the MS4 program and the Conshohocken Sewer Authority. Is this a top, and I know that this is my comment, not questions, but I do have a question as far as, I was under the understanding last week after the Sewer Authority's meeting that this was going to be a topic on your agenda tonight. Is this a topic for your agenda next month?
It will most likely be a topic on the agenda for February.
February, okay. Then I would still like to share my comment so that you understand going into it. It's actually probably a better thing that you know ahead of time what I think. So in November, as you probably know because you're all property owners in Conshohocken, we received an undated newsletter entitled Stormwater Utility Fee Being Developed. The newsletter informed property owners that beginning in April of 2024, we can expect a stormwater utility fee of $10 per month that we will be billed for quarterly. That means that we will be paying another $30 per quarter or $120 per year for this initiative. The chart presented in the newsletter insulted the intelligence of the property owners by comparing this $10 a month fee to an entire monthly cost of other utilities, if you look at the chart. For example, the chart indicates that their fee of $10 is minimal in comparison to an entire electric bill of close to $120, not just the fees that the electric company charges. The newsletter also indicated that property owners are invited to join public meetings on December 7th and January 18th at 6:30 here. That indicated to me that I had a choice of attending either the December meeting or the January meeting. So I attended the December 7th meeting. I learned about the sewer authority, what they were going to do to address the stormwater collection and maintenance, and the reduction of the pollutants. The newsletter indicated that the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection requires the borough to manage stormwater through its municipal separate storm sewer system, MS4, program and implement a pollutant reduction plan. A representative from a company by the name of HRG conducted a presentation showing how Conshohocken was going to meet the minimum requirements of the MS4 program by reducing pollutants by, I believe it was 10% in the borough, by building a basin in Sutcliffe Park. Information such as the exact location or size of this basin could not be provided when asked. While meeting the minimum requirements of the MS4 program, this plan in no way addresses the stormwater runoff problems incurred by the residents of Conshohocken. The problems I heard from the east side residents of the floods that pour down to their properties near the Old Hale Pump Company needs to be a priority of the borough. I asked at that meeting what alternative solutions were researched to both meet the MS4 program requirements as well as how to pay for the potential solutions. The answer was nothing. I find that unacceptable. No porous concrete requirements. If porous concrete had been required of the builders of new properties in Conshohocken back in 2018 till today, this may have reduced pollutants by 10% or more. There have been no rain garden requirements, no green roof requirements. The only requirement I have seen that would contribute to benefiting this initiative would be new homes must have at least one tree planted. That happened on West 6th Avenue. You can know that there's a lot of building going on there. However, the two homes that had trees planted in the front of them, the new homeowners had the trees removed. I also asked at the meeting how many bids the sewer authority received for the initiative. I was told that this was not put out for bid. Instead, there was an RFP, so they requested proposals. So I asked how many proposals had been received, and the response was basically one, and that was from the company HRG. Brent Wagner indicated that he has over 30 years of experience in the field, which qualified him to make the decision to hire HRG for the project. He basically said that the board of directors trusted him to make the decision. As you know, Brent serves the sewer authorities, as you may know, he serves the sewer authorities for both Pottstown and White Marsh, as well as being the interim executive director for the Borough of Conshohocken, or the sewer authority for Conshohocken. After researching how each of those municipalities, Pottstown and White Marsh, are addressing their requirements for the MS4 program, ironically, HRG is the company that they hired. If the sewer authority is going to start billing this fee in April of 2024 on a quarterly bill, billing really starts in January, right? We get a quarterly bill. The solicitor for the authority replied at the meeting last week that updates to the billing system have not taken place, and they didn't need to take place until closer to April. I work at a utility company. I know that if you're going to start billing for a new fee, the billing system needs to be updated and tested to ensure it bills correctly. If the fee begins billing in January, the billing system has to have already been updated. In the authority's budget, I see payments made to Caselli, I think that's how you say their name. That's the company that does the software updates for their billing system. There's no explanation as what work they did. I looked through the minutes, there's just no explanation. The sewer authority has work to do to build the trust of the residents of Conshohocken after, as you may remember, hiring an office manager years ago who had a previous theft conviction and then went on to embezzle more than $167,000 over a 2-year period from the authority. To have an interim executive director who works for 2 other municipalities and hired the same engineering firm for each of these municipalities seems very suspicious, especially since I was told that the board of directors had nothing to do with the decision because Brent felt that HRG knew how to address the issues of stormwater management for Conshohocken. Informing residents after decisions have been made is anything but transparent. Updating a billing system to implement a new quarterly fee and telling residents after the fact is anything but transparent. Not putting work out for bid, not having the board of directors review the bids, and allowing one person to hire an engineering firm that he hired for 2 other municipalities is anything but transparent. We were told that the fees paid will be in a separate account and earmarked for this initiative specifically. However, I don't see a separate budget with an income and expenses for this project anywhere on the website, and budgets for 2024 are out there. Again, no transparency. We were told at the authority's monthly meeting that a vote would be taking place at this meeting by council. We're not being told the truth, or they don't know. Regardless of which that is, it's concerning. It's 5 days before Christmas. Everyone's busy. I've been to 3 meetings in 3 weeks to no avail, constantly being told that I'm addressing the wrong audience. So who should I be addressing? The Sewer Authority and Borough Council owe the residents of Conshohocken transparency. As property owners, we have to plan and budget our budgets accordingly. We expect nothing less from the Sewer Authority and the borough. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments.
Sure.
Does anyone else this evening have any public comment? Mayor Aronson.
Thank you, President Leonard. So wrapping up a really busy time for us in the borough. We had our annual menorah lighting last week, and it was great. I think every year our turnout just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So thank you for our fire department and police and admin and Chabad of Lafayette Hill, who help us put this on every year and did not make me sing prayers in Hebrew, so I appreciate that. And it seems to always be just the coldest night of the year. We also had our Winter Wonderland, which looked amazing, like absolutely amazing, beautiful. And sort of seeing it from a parent's eyes now, I can kind of see Lauren's genius. But it was wonderful. It was a really great event, and always, I don't want to say sell out, but they always fill up every year. So please make sure you register early. I don't think I even got in on time. So so thank you to Lauren and her team for putting that on every year. I counted 5 Santas this year in Conshohocken. So we tried to visit all of them. It was awesome. Just so much going on in the community. Really fun month, from Power Properties to the community center, to our Santa at the tree lighting, to the fire department Santa. Just really so much going on in town. So thank you to everyone that makes it possible, and thank you to our residents who are supporting so much that we put on. And then finally, Sarah and I have been very public about Thomas having a heart condition. So this past year, we've spent a lot of time at Children's Hospital, and it's really been a team effort here in the borough, as far as like not missing a beat on events and activities happening in the community. I think Colleen attended a coffee with the chief and the mayor at one point. So thank you to everyone for those weeks and nights that we were away at CHOP, for making sure everything still ran smoothly for our residents. And I know Thomas appreciates it because he now can go to all the events that we work so hard to put on. So with that, I say Merry Christmas to everyone and have a very Happy New Year.
Just want to say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa, and Happy Hanukkah for those of you who've already celebrated. And that is all I have. Thank you.
Anita.
Yeah, I'd like to take a minute and say thank you, Karen, for your time, and thank you, President Leonard, for yours. You will be missed.
Kathleen.
I think Mayor Arnton hit all the events. I don't know if you mentioned the senior luncheon, which is always a big hit with our seniors, and it was a pleasure as always to serve there. And happy holidays to everybody. And Colleen, thank you for the last 2 years of friendship, of bringing back memories of our high school shenanigans that I had forgotten.
Yes.
It was 50 so years ago.
It was, yeah.
It was, and good luck.
Thank you.
There are two vacancies on the Municipal Sewer Authority Board currently, and many more on several other of our boards and commissions. So, if you are interested in getting involved with the community and having a meaningful impact, lasting impact as well, please check out the borough's website and apply for one of these boards or commissions.
Karen?
Thank you, everybody, for all the years. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
I didn't forget you tonight. Anything else?
I think I talked enough tonight, but happy holidays to everyone, and I think tonight showed how much we all mean to each other and how well we work together, and
Thank you.
that's all I'm going to say.
With that, I will say thank you to everyone again. Everybody have a happy Merry Christmas, happy holiday. And with that, for the final time, I will say, meeting adjourned.